Hello and welcome back to Nat Scraps. My name is Natalie and we today are continuing on our series where we're making some pages with the leftovers of the Are We There Yet kit. Yes, this is the scraps, guys, leftover. In the very last video, I made heaps of little tags that you just see me pile onto my bench there. And now I'm putting on all the other little bits and pieces of scraps that I've got left over from the kit. Now, in the comments below, have you commented on how many pages you think I'm going to create? Do you think this is going to be the last page that I'm creating? Love to know. We also have the Picture My Life cards. Now, I did add this to the kit, guys. They don't come in the Are We There Yet scrapbooking kit. So we did add the Picture My Life cards. That and some base pages we've added along the way. I'm just showing you there what stickers I've got left on that sheet from after making the first few pages. So this one is layout 4. And I'm bringing in a second Versamat. That must mean that this is a double page spread. My process for this one, guys, is I want to use up sort of those chunkier bits that I have, a few of those Picture My Life cards. So I'm going to start going through those and thinking what's going to go where maybe. So I'm pulling out things that I think that I might be able to use on the page, things that I could make embellishments out of, things like that. That was a lot of things. I'm sorry, guys. I'm also going to pop out some photo mats and I'm just going to lay them all out, and I want to try to put quite a few photos on these. In the description below, guys, is all the stamps that we use to create the tags for this series, as well as all the bits of stamping that we've done and things like that, as well as a playlist that will show you all the other layouts we've created with the scraps so far. If you've missed those, go back and check them out because it will help you understand where we're going and what we're doing. I started with strips and then went, that's not quite working for me, so changed tactics. And you can see that adventure is meant to be shared tag is the one that sort of started the ball rolling. So I've put that one down and I'm starting to build around that. And you can see I'm laying out those other Picture My Life tags and placing bits and pieces in between. And I continue to do that. So I sort of got that left-hand page done. I'm going to move over to the right-hand page and I'm going to continue to build things there. Excuse the white glare, guys, we will fix that shortly. I like these little flags and I think the pink goes really well with that adventure is meant to be shared. I move that over and I do a couple of little cutty things with that later. As along with that bike, we kind of make one 6x4 out of Picture My Life card out of two pieces. So we do change that up. Now at the moment it's looking very whitewashed, so I take all that away and I bring in 2 pieces of sapphire for the base, and this changes it up completely. So you're probably sitting there going, oh, stark white everywhere. And this helps. Now that those cards are going to pop a little bit more, I do chop off the top of that. The adventure is meant to be shared, and you'll see in a second I kind of move that up so that it sits over the top of that flaggy bit, and we're going to come in and we're going to do one more adjustment to that one. I'm going to take that little pink strip off the bottom and cut up these sides so that I can pop the 2 little bits there, making them into little banners, and I'm going to slip them over the top of that card. And I love how that finished off. It looks like it was meant to be that way. It doesn't look like it's 2 joined cards, and you kind of forget after a while that that was 2 cards that were joined together there. I'm going to move on and try to do the same on the right side. Now there is something I'm going to focus really heavily on. At the moment it looks like this page, I think I'm 4 minutes into this video or something like that, 4.5 minutes in, and it's coming together swimmingly. But something that I do take a lot of time to focus on is trying to build up patches of colors in triangles. And I work on this for a long time. I am very aware that I have sort of like a grey up in the top left corner, a grey down in the bottom corner, that there's that blue mappy one that's just in my hand right now, and I try to get a triangle with that. That changes later on. The yellows also I'm looking at, and we'll bring in a different yellow, a slightly brighter one and a bit more punchier one shortly. So that's something I really focus on, and I'll have a few arrows pop up here and there that are going to show that. This is another element, this stripy bit, I work on getting that in 3 areas as well. It might just look like it's coming together swimmingly, but a lot of my time now is moving those elements so that my eye wants to travel around the page. It doesn't just try to take in all of the things at once. It's moving around, and it's one of the things about design and color that you want to pull your eye to certain parts of a page, and it is what ends up making a page work or a page not work. So you can see here, this is where I've changed in that yellow. Now I have to say, most people we see on YouTube, they do this naturally. They do this without thinking. I have to really think about it because I'm not a natural designer and I am not that talented. There are so many really talented, amazing scrapbookers out there, and they always blow my mind. I'm going to put down the elements I know I want in places. So I'm starting on the right hand page and cutting the things that I know need to be cut down and then sticking them on. Here on that, I'd say email tag, I add that little piece of the zip strip there so that it doesn't look cut off at the bottom. It's a little bit more punchy and a little bit more colourful, but it does end up working. I'm trying to bring this peachy pink colouring down the bottom here so that there's another section of that, and I'm popping that one down. Now I'm also going to cut this bike tag down so that when it sits over, it's going to look like it's joined to the one above it, and that will end up 2 cards joined together, very similar to the one on the right hand side. I do move a few of these things around. The blue paper there, I'd cut them to slightly smaller strips earlier on when I thought I was going to have strips on the page. So I'm matting them in white, and that will bring them back to the 3-inch width and make them even with the other sides. Now this piece that I put up the top here bothers me for quite a long time, and right at the end of the video we're going to change our minds. It's after the video, after I've actually finished filming this, I'm editing the video and I go, that's what I should have done. So I actually went back and I changed it over. Now you can see here I've got the 3 dots of green that up the top right, top left. We're going to have arrows come up here. We'll wait for the arrows. I'm sure there's arrows coming. And these tags also, there's my 3 dots of yellow. I also have the 3 dots of green there, and I'm trying to bring in 3 areas of peach. And the geo tag, which is in the top right and the bottom left, I also end up with 3 parts of that, along with that little zip strip, which is on the airmail tag. It is going well now, guys. It's really a matter of building up these clusters of embellishments and finding ways to get these embellishments to not be just floating on the page. I love the tags, I love the look that they're giving me, but I'm finding it frustrating that I need to anchor them in. I continue to work on that as we go through. I am trying to get that balance on that very last strip, and I work on that right up to the end, guys. Where are we going to go with these ones next? I do move these things around quite a lot. I end up cutting this bag sticker in half and spreading it out over the 2 pages. I know I'm fussy, aren't I? I don't know, are you guys that fussy about things as well? And do you guys, once you've made a decision, to stick with it? Or are you like me and you change your minds and move things around and, you know, spend way too much time making very tiny decisions. Here's where I've cut that bag in half. It ends up in this top left-hand corner, and I do some adjustments to the little bit of green and things that I've got there. So I'm kind of making a little ledge for that bag to sit on, because I didn't want it just to sit there and be hanging in mid-air. I also then go and kind of repeat that little bit of a banner down on the bottom right hand corner. Realize the strip is just way too thin and doesn't do anything, so I'll recut that and do a slightly thicker one down there. I also enhance that corner by adding a geotag sticker that is very similar to the one that's in the top right hand corner, and so that is just mirroring that down to that corner. Here's where I'm starting to build some anchors for these tags and trying to decide exactly where they should go. I moved this one around so much it's not funny, that little strip there, and I am trying to get that triangle going that I keep talking about. So where I've put it here, finally I'm happy with that triangle because it brings it sort of up to the top and then down right over to the left hand page. This is a little left hand sided heavy, you know, there could be more tweaks made, but it's done. We're not doing any more tweaks. We've already gone back and tweaked after the video, so we're not doing any more. And here I've decided that that piece needed to be a little bit bigger up in that corner because the tags didn't fit on it, which they end up getting moved anyway and it wouldn't have made any difference. Such is life. And I'm trying to look for what's going to anchor that one now. So I've anchored with a couple of little horizontal banners down in the left, and I want to be able to anchor this one up in the top as well. I'm thinking about using that little west sticker, and that got a bit poo-hooed. I think we moved that somewhere else. I'm going to cut a little tag out of this zip strip. It's just a tiny little luggage taggy kind of thing, and use that to adhere those tags and give them a little bit of an anchor point up there. There we go. Oh, have to move them around too. Small details, people. I get really caught up in the small details. Now I am moving my attention to this one block that I sort of haven't touched on the left-hand page at the top there. And I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do with this one. My solution ends up being that I'm going to bring in this camera stamp, and I'm going to stamp that out onto some cardstock. So I'll bring in some black ink, or I think maybe it was sapphire ink. My apologies, some sapphire ink. Stamp that out. Now I did stamp it on the matte paper, and I also stamped it on a little piece of light blue paper that was left over from something. It might have been a tag or something else that we had in the kit. And I'm going to fussy cut that one out and pop it up the top. Then bring in a little sentiment from that stamp set that says, "So this happened." And if you want to see all the stamp sets that I made the tags with, everything else with, they'll all be in the other videos. So go back, see the other videos. Now this is where, guys, after videoing all this, I change my mind and I come up with a bit more of a solution that I want to use. So I'm going to move that tag. Now, one thing that really bugged me was that the two pieces of geo paper, that dark blue paper, were both right up the top, so on the tag and in that corner, and it wasn't making a triangle as such, and I didn't have as much of that matte paper left. Like, I'd had a big piece over in the corner and I'd moved that off, and I keep talking about how I thought it was a bit left hand heavy. So I've gone in, I'm going to cut this bike down a lot more. It's going to overlap that little bit of pink, so we lose a little bit of that pink from the corner, but not too bad. And it's still going to overlap that always take the scenic route and look like one piece down there, but it's also going to allow me to move a piece of the greener map paper up into that left hand corner, the geo paper down a little bit, and I'm going to have a bit more of that. It does make me happy in the end that I went back, and this little bit of footage that filmed afterwards, after I've edited and come back in and popped it in, is a little bit bad because the autofocus was on and it was blurring in and out, and I do apologize for that, guys. So that's pretty much it, guys. I do have some still shots. If you've lasted this far through the whole thing, I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much. I've had an absolute blast so far in this series, and there is more to come, so keep subscribed, keep the bell notification on. Let me know what you think and whether you like the changes I made there at the end. I'd really like to hear it. I am so blessed to have you guys come on these journeys with me, and I am forever grateful. Have a wonderful, wonderful day, guys, and we will see you soon. Bye.